Here's a video of the process of me enhancing this old snare drum, the old Mapex V series, 14-inch standard by 5.5-inch 6.8mm birch ply shell. Took it all apart and realised that it actually had a deep blood red dye on the shell, which was lovely to sand. My word, it was a lot of work. 120 quid to get off the excess on top, and then realised I had to go down to a harsher grit of around about, I think I did 50 next, 50 grit. Yeah, and then I started getting down to the bare wood. That was a lot of bloody work, but actually turned out alright, as you'll see in a second, getting down to the bare wood. Went up the grits to 120 grit, finishing off here to smooth it off, and then I went on to the final grit of 240, I think it is, hand sandpaper, just to give it a lovely smooth finish. You can see all the green there. That turned out all right. Finish off with a hand sandpaper. Everybody loves sanding. Yeah, and then moved on to painting it, which I wanted, beeswax, the colour on beeswax, yeah. Dark oak, Jacobean sort of shade. It's like a wax polish, so it'll give it a bit of a sheen, as you'll see in a minute. But let me brush it on and then wipe off the excess, and then buff it with a lint-free cloth here. Turned out alright. Didn't bring up as much grain as I wanted, but looks okay. I wanted a two-tone sort of fade with the finish on the shell, so I went with Rust-Oleum spray paint. Excellent spray paint, that. About £10 for a 400ml tin on Amazon. Yeah, and I chucked it on my little jig that I knocked up and started this two-tone effect sort of thing. Turned out alright. A little bit of spitting on the paint, but sort of covered it quite well. And I moved on to the clear lacquer. Just chose Turner and Grey, standard sort of clear lacquer. I did a couple of coats on that, and then moved on to the hardware. As I was saying, it's quite an old snare drum, so it's started to have a bit of pitting and surface rust. Oxidization on the chrome there, but I did a bit of research, and the cheapest way to clean it really is WD-40 and tin foil. Believe it or not, it works. Just cover the chrome and then rub the tin foil all over it, and it takes all the surface rust off, cleans it, and actually polishes it a little bit. I did that on all the hardware, the two rims, the tension rods, the tension rod mounts, the snare butt plate and the dropout, and then wiped it all clean. It's turned out quite clean, nice. Before I actually spray painted or primed the hardware, I used 2000 grit wet and dry sandpaper just to scuff it up a bit before I painted it. Surface primer, matte white finish, Rust-Oleum again obviously, 400ml tin. And I did 2 coats. This is what it turned out like. 2 coats of primer, turned out quite nice. I quite like the white. I think I'll do that on my next project. Yeah, 400ml tin. I used, say, 2/3 of these tins, just doing a couple of coats on all the hardware. My choice for the finish was gunmetal metallic, Rust-Oleum again. I've never really used it before, and I think I'll use it again actually because it turned out lovely. As you can see, nice metallic sort of sparkle on it. Lovely shade of grey that. Yeah, after doing all that, it was just letting it all dry and putting it all back together, which you'll see in a minute. I think because I never have enough time to do a project like fully, if you know what I mean. If I had more time, I would have put more coats of lacquer on the shell, and I would have lacquered the hardware as well, just give it a bit more durability. but as you can see, it's turned out really nice. I think it's a hell of a lot better. Yeah, quite pleased with it. There you go.